I am going to share with you tips, strategies, insights as an older worker, 55 and older. Yes, you're 55 and older. That's when you start getting AARP information in the mail. It's like, wait a minute, I think you start getting it at 50. But anyway, I am here to share invaluable information with you. If you're receiving Social Security and you want to supplement your Social Security, you're receiving retirement income from a job you worked for many years, you want to supplement your income, or if you're just thinking, look, shoot, I'm too young to just be sitting around the house watching, whatever I'm watching on TV or looking at, on TikTok and Instagram and all of that. And I could be out somewhere meeting people and, providing a service and working for a company and making some money. Right. So if you're in that category, you're at the right place because I'm going to be sharing information with you. That's my mission. I was a career counselor and I'm still doing it on some level, like right now, for example, for over 25 plus years. So I know what I'm talking about, and I am still out there looking around for part-time work that's a good match for me. I'm not looking to work full-time, but I'm always looking on the lookout for meaningful part-time work that match my skill set, that match my passion, my experience, and where I can continue to make a contribution. Listen, my mantra is I'm going to keep going until the wheels fall off, okay? Because I got a lot of energy. I'm grateful for good health. I work really hard to maintain my good health, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. All right. So, if you are looking for work and you have an opportunity, so I'm going to be doing a whole lot of this and a lot of videos on different aspects of looking for work. So it's going to cover everything from A to Z. So let's say you're looking for work and you have an opportunity to do a phone interview. Lots of employers are doing phone interviews now. That's the they're what do you call it? They are screening you to determine whether you're going to go on and talk to somebody. It might be in person, and it might be on Zoom or what they call virtual. So the phone interview, a lot of phone interviews are being done to screen you. Some initial interviews are virtual, where you actually are on camera talking to a recruiter, and that recruiter is determining whether they're going to move you forward in the interview process. So you still have to come seriously correct, because that recruiter, so to speak, is the gatekeeper to determine whether or not you will go forward, or you'll just be like, okay, well, I interviewed this person, next, and they don't see you as having met the qualifications. Or the other thing I want to mention too is the culture, culture, of organizations. So cultures are important as well. There's some cultures where, I'm gonna keep it real. I was looking for, I live close to my son-in-law and daughter and my beautiful grandchildren, and I went over to the house in the middle of the day, and they have a little doggie, right? And the doggie, they'll leave a little area open for the dog during the day in case it gets warm or whatever. And I went and I looked, and I was, because I have the key and all that, and I'm back and forth to my place. And I text my son-in-law and I said, I don't see Emmy, the dog, right? The dog of the family. They've had the little doggie for probably about 8 years now. He said, oh, Emmy went to work with me today. Oh, okay. So apparently, I don't need to say where he works, but apparently it's okay to bring your dog to work. Now, every job does not allow or give you the green light to bring your dog to work. But for his job, apparently people are bringing their dog to work, so it's no big thing. You don't bring the dog to work every day. Emmy, this is her name. But he can bring the dog. The culture is such that he can bring his dog to work and sit there, and as long as the dog's not acting up and doing stuff they're not supposed to be doing, the dog is house trained, so to speak. So I'm sure Emmy goes there and sits right under his feet while he's working. So anyway, so culture of an organization is important too, because you may not want to work for an organization where people are bringing their dogs to work. You may not want to work for an organization where people are dressing super casual, wearing shorts to work or whatever. You may want to kind of dress up a little bit and thinking, I like to kind of, you're not going to put on your Sunday go to meeting clothes, as we used to say, but you might want to be business casual. And if you were business casual for some jobs, you may look out of place. So those are some of the things you need to look at as well relative to the particular employer that you want to pursue in terms of employment. Now, if we're just looking for part-time work, and this is not the major career, because this is, we're already retired and we're supplementing our income, we may not want to get hung up with that, so to speak, because you're just trying to almost get in where you can fit in. And, if the dog is not bothering you and you don't mind being around dogs at work, then maybe that's okay. Where normally, if it was your job that you had before retirement, you'd be thinking, I don't want to be on the job with a dog, okay? So keep that in mind. The other thing I want to mention too is, culture of a job, of the company, and how important is that for, to you, and also knowing the mission, MISSION, the mission statement and the vision, VISION, of a company. So let's say if you get, an opportunity for a phone interview or a virtual interview as an introduction by a recruiter, they will say, what do you know about our company? What do you know about us? Well, I know you all are hiring. Well, lots of places are hiring, but what do you know about our company specifically? Why did you apply for this position? And they don't want to hear about your qualifications at that particular time, but what is it about this company that attracted you to want to apply? So, back to the mission statement, back to the vision. Every company has a mission statement. Every company has a vision statement, especially the mission statement. Now, I actually had an opportunity to do a series of workshops for the major transportation company in the Oakland Bay Area. It's AC Transit. So I was doing workshops for individuals who were in management, but they were looking to move up, and they were having a problem moving up in management because they had been there for so long, and they weren't able to they weren't being successful in their interview because things had changed over the years. And let's say they were in a junior management position, but they had been there a long time, and now they're looking to, elevate themselves and to move up the career ladder, and they weren't being successful in interviews. So I asked them, I said, how many of you know the mission statement of this company, AC Transit? And most of them said, oh, I've been here for 25 years, 20 years. What's the mission statement? And I said, you have to know the mission statement of your company. So for those, and then that was like a light bulb went on for a lot of them, like, oh, yeah, I've been here, working as a senior mechanic or whatever, a junior manager in accounting or whatever, and I'm ready to move up to senior accountant manager. But you're right, I don't know the mission statement. I said, so you almost have to start from scratch. This is what I was telling them in terms of selling that interviewer, because most of the interviewers, I told them, are going to be much, much, much younger than you. Could be young enough probably to be your child, so to speak, in their early 20s or mid 20s, or maybe even early 30s. And they're coming from a whole different perspective than you, and you're coming there fossilized, saying, well, I can do the job, I've been on the job. No, they don't want to hear that. They want you to come fresh. They want you to be competitive. You're going to have to be competitive with individuals who are coming out from outside of the organization, and they're coming with a brand new, fresh perspective, contemporary perspective. And that's when I told this group of individuals who had been working at this company, AC Transit, for years, and they couldn't figure out why they weren't getting promoted and why they weren't being successful in interviews. So what I want to say to you is, when you are looking as an older worker and they ask you and you get a chance to interview for the position, then you want to be able to talk about the mission statement, how it aligns with your values, how it aligns with your experience, with your passion, and also talk about the vision of as much as you can say about that company when they ask you. So it's not just like, well, I heard you were hiring. They want to know, why should we hire you? There's lots of people out there who applied for we got other candidates who have applied for this position. Why you? What do you know about our company? And that's when you can talk about it. And you can actually have it written down somewhere. Well, you're not just going to sit there and read it off, but you know the gist of what their mission is about. So I'm going to mention the Salvation Army because I had experience today with my grandson. We did some donating to the Salvation Army, and I was educating him on the Salvation Army. That's one of my favorite organizations to donate to, by the way. And when I was doing a workshop, which was a while back, I used the Salvation Army as an example. I said, because they hire, people, regular folks apply and they get hired to be cashiers or managers or whatever else. They provide a lot of other services for people who are in need, and that's their mission. But I asked the individuals I was training at the time, it was a workshop relative to attaining employment, and I said, if you had applied for a job at the Salvation Army, do you know the mission of the Salvation Army? Do you know the mission? What do you know about the Salvation Army if you applied for a position there? Just as an example. And I said, how many of you know, you heard of the Salvation Army? Yes. Well, do you know the mission of the Salvation Army? Do you know what the mission statement is? I know they sell used clothing and da-da-da. And I told them, this is the mission of the organization, the Salvation Army. This is their mission statement. And you want to be familiar with an organization's mission statement, because I have been on boards of directors where they have created mission statements, and mission statements take a long time and a lot of agreement for everybody on that board of directors to come to an agreement as to what the mission statement should say, because they wanted to reflect the values and what that company is all about. And so they have to say it in so many words so that others can get it and know what that company is about by just simply reading the mission statement. So I want to say to you, when you get an opportunity to interview, whether it's the beginning interview or whatever, know that mission statement. That's critical. You have to know the mission statement as much as you can know about that company, when they were founded, how that all came about, how many locations, whatever you can say about the company. So they're thinking, whoa, this person did their research. They know a lot about our company. And it's impressive. So it's not just about, you can do the job, but what do you know about our company? Why should we hire you? There's other individuals who are equally qualified as you. Why you? So you want to be able to come correct, sit up straight, and sell yourself in that interview. All right? I think that's the two tips. We talked about culture. We talked about knowing the mission and the vision. Knowing what that company, why are they existing? What are they here for? Why? The why of that company. That's what you need to know. You want to know. And you're not going to sit there and say the mission statement and read it off, but you're going to incorporate that in your interview. All right, I think that's enough in terms of insight and tips for this particular video. I intend to continue sharing more, because I find that older workers, once you're not working anymore, you kind of get cold feet, and I get individuals saying, I don't have the confidence, I'm anxious, I'm doubtful in terms of, whether or not I can get back out there and compete in 2025. Well, yes, you can. I'm probably older than a whole lot of you, and I'm still out there beating my drum and getting picked up. And matter of fact, I have an interview this coming Thursday. It's going to be a virtual interview, and so it's on camera. So they already said, don't know what you need to know before the interview. So you can't get on there and say, well, I don't know how to do work the camera, and there's no audio and this and that. They said, check all that out in advance. So there's absolutely no problems, okay, to the best of your ability anyway. All right, so my name is Maria. Please like and subscribe and leave me a comment if there's any way I can help you. I love to help individuals help themselves, all right? And I have a wealth of information and skills and knowledge and experience and passion and all that good stuff, and I love to share it. All righty, so I look to hear from you. Thank you so much for checking out my YouTube channel, and I hope this has been inspiring for you and informative. All right, bye-bye for now. Maria signing off. I hope to see you at the top, because that's where I hang out. Bye-bye.